I'm Jamie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about episode 6 of Taskmaster Series 15, and there is a little bit of a debate in this one again. It seems to be a common theme in this series, but overall I thought this was a really fun episode, and yeah, let's just start with the prize task. The prize task this episode was to bring in the best thing to play about with in the bathroom, which is a weirdly specific one, but I thought it was a really fun category. I really liked what Kiell brought in, which was the toilet piano. I actually saw this advertised to me on Amazon a few days after watching this episode, so I don't know whether that's a coincidence or Amazon is spying on what I'm watching, but I thought that was quite funny. I thought Kiell's prize was a really good one, and then we also had May bringing in that toothpaste Russian roulette, which I thought was a really fun one as well. I'm surprised that one only got 2 points. I thought May deserved quite a few more points than that. I thought this one was really good. It was fun, it was silly. I'm surprised Alex didn't give it a go. Normally with kind of weird, disgusting things, Greg always makes Alex do it. Yeah, I thought that was a really good one. I'm really surprised it didn't do better. Frankie, we had the BG Ouija board. That was quite fun. I liked that it made Greg laugh. I think that was the reason why this one won. It was a pretty good prize task, but I think Frankie just played it very well. I don't know, there was a lot of banter between them, so I think that's why it did quite well. Ivo, I thought, did a really good job as well, bringing in the scale mod of the Titanic. I thought this is a really good one. Again, only 3 points. It's something creative, but he hasn't really put too much effort in, so I think in the middle is quite good. And then we had Jenny bringing in that weird mouth brace washer thing that she just genuinely really wanted and hoped that she'd win the episode so she could get it, which I really liked. And one thing I like about how Jenny presents the prize tasks is she tends to bring the object into the studio, which I think is a nice touch. Nobody's really done that too much before. People do it occasionally, but she seems to be quite consistent with it, which I really like. One thing I do have to say about this series is that they've done really well at the prize tasks in general. Most of the time, everybody's bringing in a pretty decent prize. May's one, I think in other series that would have got 5 points easily. Maybe not Jenny's one this episode, but overall I would say everybody's really put a bit more effort into the prize tasks, which is really nice to see. The first proper task of this episode was to create an imaginary person who was either a lot bigger than them or a lot smaller than them and create the most poignant scene while doing a mundane task. I think those are the requirements. This one was a really, really fun one. Overall, I loved everybody's attempt at this task. Everybody did such a good job. It was a very creative one. I think when they first read out all the rules, I thought it was I was thinking, this is a bit too many things to try and do. And while everybody kind of followed the same plot line of having this person, really loving them, and either them dying or, in Ivo's case, running away, everybody did it in such a unique and funny way, so it didn't really affect anything at all. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this task. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. It's one of my favourite creative ones. I completely agree with Greg's scorings on this one. Frankie's was so good. I really liked, there were so many different things I really liked about this one. Just the idea of little Andy arriving home late, loving the cookies, little details like the coat hook, and then Frankie seeing the little coat on the coat hook. It was just such little cute details like that really made the story more devastating. And yeah, I thought Frankie screaming into the oven was just really, really funny. And then Frankie's joke at the end about it being cheap at the cremation was funny. Getting a bit of that dark humour from Frankie here. May's one was really good as well, just making soup with Salvatore, and yeah, him falling in, May knocking him into the soup. And I thought May did a really good job with this, with the fake crying, actually managing to fake cry. It was really, really good. And adding a bit of humour to it as well, with the whole nobody rocks my world better than him and stuff, which I thought that was so good. It was a nice little humour break from everything else. Overall, I thought both of them were brilliant. Kiell's again was really strong, and yeah, just again quite similar general storyline of doing a mundane task and then the character dying in a horrific way, and this time falling down the sink. A lot of funny things in this one, with the whole wanting to go to New Zealand. Some reason Kiell flushing him down down the drain. I don't know why he did that, but it was funny. One little thing I liked about Kiell's, it's nothing to do with his actual attempt at this, but I liked that he was actually the one seeing the invisible people, unlike in Ghosts, where he's the only one who can't see the invisible people. So I like that. It's a little glimpse of what we could get if Kiell's character Mike is able to see the ghosts in Ghosts. So yeah, just an offside little remark there. But yeah, I really liked Kiell's attempt. Jenny's, I think, was definitely the weakest. I really like her acting, like her wailing and sobbing outside the caravan. And I like that she was the only one who went with the tall one. I think going for the small one is always going to kind of elicit that more emotional response, just because we tend to think of, like, you know, smaller things being cuter and childlike. Frankie's invisible person Andy was going to school, so Jenny should have stuck with doing the smaller person, even though I like that she did go away from the crowd with that. Ivo also went in a slightly different direction, which I really enjoyed. I liked that he was just washing the car with a friend, getting ready to go on a road trip, and then his friend drives off without him. It was a different type of emotional, but it was really good, and I think he definitely deserved 4 points for that as well. I think Frankie's was definitely the standout for me, but yeah, as I said, I agree with Greg's scoring. I thought he did this fairly, and yeah, he did it the right way. Fully agree with his scoring. But this is a fantastic task. I really liked everybody's attempt. It was great to see everybody being creative, and I think it's definitely one of my favourite, like, acting tasks. The next task has been described as the worst ever task on Taskmaster, which I don't necessarily agree with. I thought it was really funny, even though the task didn't work out as they planned. But yeah, the task was to peel an egg without your hands, and you can only break the shell of one egg. Fewest pieces of eggless shell wins. I don't know why everybody was so confused by it. It definitely could have been worded better, but I don't understand how everybody was, like, so utterly confused by it. There are a few things that I was shocked that they actually managed to get away with, and I'm guessing this is because they thought that it was a bit too... They didn't want to be too harsh on a task that most of the contestants didn't really understand what was going on. I'm surprised that they were able to, like, use, like, tea towels kind of like as gloves, like Frankie did, and I think somebody else did as well. I'm surprised they managed to get away with that, because normally, you know, Alex and Greg wouldn't allow that. It's not really, like, in the spirit of the rules a lot of the time, but I can understand why they did it here. Ivo was also a bit hesitant as to whether he'd be breaking the rules. I thought his idea of going to get another egg, like a different egg, was a very strong idea. I don't think it broke the rules, but yeah, he was so unsure of his choice that he didn't really know what to do with that. But yeah, that was such a good idea, and I think if he'd gone with that instinct and used that egg he knew was like a raw egg, he probably would have won this one, which is a shame he didn't. I loved him referring to him and Jenny being in the thicko corner. I thought that was so funny, and I felt so bad for Jenny eating the eggshells. Like, I don't know why she was choosing to do that. It was funny, but oh my god, I couldn't do that at all. That's horrible. We also had two people getting quite lucky with this. Kiell and May just getting lucky and finding the raw egg. Kiell completely lucky, like just breaking it by accident, whereas May was trying to do something somewhat clever. They knew that the raw egg was the better option, so was trying to find that, and then got lucky with it being the raw one that they dropped. I have seen some people complain about this task, saying that Alex kind of prompted May into thinking about whether a raw egg or a boiled egg would be better, but I don't know whether that's necessarily true, because we didn't see everybody's attempt. And he prompted to Frankie as well, I think, when he was putting the eggs in the water to try and find the hardest egg. He did kind of question that a bit, so I don't know if that's necessarily a fair statement to make if we haven't seen, like, the full thing of everybody's, but I don't think it really had that big of an impact on the task, because May still broke the raw egg by accident anyway. So yeah, it didn't really make too much of a difference. And May was the only one to spot the Frankie Jenny Frankie thing on the table. Not understanding what it meant. Thought it was very funny that they thought it was Frankie and Benny's. Like that, it had no impact on their attempt at the task whatsoever, because they found it after they'd done the task. But I liked that there was a little something there to give them a bit of a hint as to what egg was the best. I thought Frankie had a good idea with putting the eggs in the water, but he was just looking for the wrong type of egg, which kind of screwed him over a bit, unfortunately. He was like one of the only ones to actually like think it through a bit more as well, so I did feel bad for him. Next we have another quite controversial task, and this one was to bash the bell with the bowling ball, and the quickest wins and gets 5 points, and then the slowest gets 4 points. Now, if this was me doing the task, I would have tried to just go for the 4 points, so trying to be the last person to get it. Like if you manage, you could have taken your time with it, thought about it a bit more, and then just like bashed it on like the last second. It would have been risky in case you missed it, but that's personally how I would have approached this one. And everybody else seemed to be going for the speed, which is fair enough, like you want the 5 points, but I felt like measuring up, I think going for the 4 points would be easier. I'm not going to go too into detail about everybody's attempts because I do want to talk about the debate surrounding this task, but a couple of things that I really enjoyed. I like that Jenny found the gold shoe immediately in the pineapple. Like maybe she'd seen it there before, but that was insane. Like I don't know why she thought to go over there and get the gold shoe from there, but that was so good. I don't think she knew it was there because her reaction was so like joyful and amazed that she found it. So that was crazy. And also Jenny with the trick spray paint. I thought that was genius. That was so funny. And I'm glad that she actually managed to get the gold spray paint in the end because that was a really good idea from her as well. Like she seemed to really think outside the box with this, except for when she started kicking the bowling ball. That was weird, but overall, very, very good. May as well also finding one of the gold shoes. I also liked that they hopped all the way there. I thought that was a really good way of doing it. It was a really fast way of doing it, so I thought that was all really good. Kiell, kind of smart, kind of not. I like that he was trying to physically remove the shoes off Alex. I don't know why he thought that would work, but it was funny. And also moving the green, which I'll get onto that later. But at first I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. But then it was nothing can touch the green or the grass, whatever, except for the gold shoes or the bowling ball. So he wouldn't have been able to move it anyway. So it was a smart idea, but he didn't think fully about the rules. But yeah, it's a shame because I thought that was a really good idea. I was amazed by how close Ivo was at the start to hitting the bell. It would have been amazing if he hit it, but yeah, it got stuck at the top. And Ivo going in the make the egg route, which is really funny. And the fact that he made it wrong and then had to do it again, just hilarious. It's a very Ivo thing to do, very chaotic. And then the fact that he brought the podium and put it straight onto the bit that he wasn't allowed to put it on. Frankie was being a bit smart with it as well, with making the gold shoes with the yellow like rackets. I don't agree with this. I don't think it counted as gold at all, but yeah, this is where kind of we get into the debates. So the first one was whether Frankie should have got the points for the shoes, and I am kind of in the middle with this. I don't think he should have got the points for it. It wasn't a gold shoe. That is the main thing. I think even the definition of the word gold didn't count. I think it was smart. If he had spray painted them, I would have been better with that. It's just they were neither gold nor were they shoes. So I don't think they should have counted as gold shoes. But I do understand why they let him get away with that, because then May would have got 9 points. And following the previous episode where May, Jenny and Kiell got 10 points for one task, I can understand why they were reluctant to give May another 9 points, because it is such a big lead. So I do understand. Right, and then there's going on to this whole debate about treading on the grass. In the rules, it said you must stay off the grass unless you're wearing the gold shoes. If anything other than the bowling ball or the gold shoes touches the grass, you're disqualified. So 3 people ended up getting disqualified. And this was Ivo, Jenny and Kiell. I think you can't say stay off the grass and have that count as 2 different things. It's either the actual real grass or the like green sheet that they had put on, because it wasn't like fake grass. I don't think it was just so confusing, and I guess they were kind of going for a little twist with it, but I thought it was like, it didn't cross my mind at all that they weren't allowed to go on the real grass. I don't know, I just thought it was a really like silly rule, especially because so many people got disqualified. 100% getting disqualified if they touch like the green, but I think there is a very clear distinction between like the green and the grass, and yeah, I just thought it didn't make any sense. I guess they kind of did try to avoid them treading on the real grass, because Alex did tell them don't tread on, when they were going to it, like, don't tread on the grass. So I guess they were trying to hint at it, that they weren't allowed to be there. I just didn't think it was fair. I think if it was all like the green or all the normal grass, then fair enough. If they tread on it, they tread on it. Like, Ivo 100% should have got disqualified because he put the thing right on the green. They might be trying to highlight that the green is the grass as well, because they did have that sign that says don't touch the grass on it. But it was pretty clear that like the green bit was like the bounds of the task, like the task area. Like if they had wandered around trying to get stuff to help them with the task, and there was a patch of grass and they stepped on it, even though it's so far away from the task area, like that would have failed them. I just don't think it was a great rule to have. And also, I don't want to not... I mean, Frankie's already got the point, so what I say doesn't matter. But I'm like 100% he did touch the green bit on his first bowl. I'll put a clip up here. But I am also on, if you go back to Potato Gate, I was also on Joe's side. So, yeah, I'm not mad about him not getting disqualified for it. But I thought it was really funny. And I genuinely thought it was going to come up later in the show that he did touch the green. But yeah, I just thought it was funny. Next, the studio task. This one was the musical chairs task with Greg reading out a story. I thought this was quite a fun twist on normal musical chairs. I thought it was really difficult, so I was really impressed by how well May especially did, but Ivo as well. And yeah, I thought this was a really difficult one, but I like this as a studio task. I think it's one of the stronger ones they've had this series. I thought it had that tense atmosphere to it, like they're actually competing together. It was also funny when, like Frankie barged Jenny off the chair, and when Kiell knocked the chair and then just walked off the stage. I thought that was really funny. And Alex like telling him he did a really bad job. I thought, yeah, it was a really funny like task and environment, and I liked that they were kind of working off each other a little bit as well. But yeah, May just genuinely so good at this task. They're really good at the kind of brainy tasks, I find. So yeah, I thought this one was a really good one. And when May won at the end, I really liked how they gave Jenny the little dental thing. I mean, I know that they don't really get to keep the prizes, but it was a nice little touch at the end. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to talk about in this episode. I thought generally it was a really good episode, really strong. I loved the imaginary friend task, and the egg one was funny, even though it didn't quite work how they wanted. But yeah, I definitely disagree strongly with the rulings on the bowling ball task, even though it was a really fun task, and there was some like really tense moments in it when Ivo was like scrambling to make the egg and like downing the milk. It was a really funny and tense task, but yeah, I thought the ruling was just a bit inconsistent. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below, and if you like this video then please give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos to do with Taskmaster. I'll have some more out for you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye!